everybody, welcome to the Wrestling Through the Years podcast. I'm the armchair QB Dizzle. I'm here with the greatest, sexiest beard in the history of Garden Gnomes, Dutchie.
Yo.
And we're here with the man that puts the E and, I don't know.
Excitement.
And excitement. There you go. The E and excitement. Eric's here. And we got C Money.
Yo.
We're here for a big episode, boys.
Yep.
Our WCW top 10 flops. We're here to talk about the worst of the worst and some of our least favorite of all time.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a fun list.
It's going to be a fun list.
You're going to go last, right?
We'll see. I got to memorize. But yeah. So this has been an exciting one. We're all WCW fans pretty much. There's some that prefer WWE over it. But for the most part, we're WWF fans. Or WCW fans. Me and Doug. And but they made a lot of mistakes, Doug.
Oh, yeah. They made plenty of mistakes, and it's all because of people that they hired.
Russo.
I mean, I even put it in the description when I wrote the promo today. Don't die until we're off air.
How many people would... Can you talk about the subject of the show?
But like the thing is that like with all the people that were, that have been in charge, none of them knew what the hell they were doing. I mean, even Bischoff at first, like he started to kind of know what he was doing, and then he found a cock that he liked, Hulk Hogan's, and couldn't get his mouth off it. So he couldn't, and bad idea after bad idea just kept coming.
And it fucked him.
Yeah.
And we're here to talk about every bad idea from Jim Herd to everybody. There's a lot that are obvious, there's a lot that really isn't.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a good one. Some current shit. Are we excited for War Games, gentlemen?
I mean, I
didn't do it, Dutchie.
I kind of am. I mean, I think the women's War Games is going to be good. I think it was stupid to do the whole thing with Charlotte where she's not going to or she's not going to be on the team, and then they changed course like 3 days later.
To have her on the team?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like make up your mind.
Yeah. Like she just can't like it was so dumb. And then the whole thing with now like we know we're gonna get Becky and AJ, and we know we're gonna get Becky and AJ now, so it should be a really good War Games. The men's is kind of like an all-star team.
Yep.
Oh, hey there, Sean.
There he is.
Yep. TCX Ripper, fellow podcast brethrens. Of course, he'll be with Eric and I tomorrow night, but we'll plug more later when I have the time allotted. But I'll tell you, and Cleneth, I want to get your opinion on this because you are a Nikki Bella fan.
My opinion.
Huh?
My opinion. On Nikki Bella. Okay.
Well, and again, I'm not going to be disrespectful.
Yeah, it's been a good 4 minutes, Sean.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed it.
But it's like, one, do you think it was right for them to turn her heel? And two, do you think that they'll somehow put the title on her at Survivor Series?
No.
I don't see her getting the title of Survivor Series.
No.
Now, do the old fan of me want to see that happen? Yes. Part of me do, but I don't think it won't.
They might do it just to give Stephanie the match back the rematch. Just
Yeah, but I don't see. That's why I hate those flip floppies, yo. That's what I call a flip flopper.
me too. Me too. But I can see them doing it because to like give her a storyline and something to work with. Oh, she lost the belt. Now she's got to get it back. And then she ultimately beats Nikki. But I would say Nikki should be cannon fodder for Stephanie McCurr to get a nice big babyface win.
Yeah. But Cleneth, what did you think though? Did you see that heel turn coming?
Actually, you know, it reminds me of man, that she did to Brie in a way. How she turned on Brie as an actress at SummerSlam,
Okay.
and nobody saw that really coming.
Yeah.
It was almost like the same thing. She's close to someone. You act like you're there, her best friend. You got her back by her side, and then when the moment goes, she goes straight to evil mode and put a knife, that forearm right in the back. And this time it was the title upside your head, but
right,
it comes.
Do you think that? Do you kind of see the similarities between like that and what she did when her and Brie turned on Ronda too a few years ago?
Well, let's put it this way. When that happened with Ronda, we all knew that was coming. I mean, when he announced Evolution, you knew that there was talks about putting Nikki Belt. It was either going to be Becky and Charlotte or Ronda and Nikki in the main event at Evolution.
Well, yeah, because Vince always gets his kicks, and even if this isn't, I know it's just business, pal, but I see it as him like, all right, we're giving the women their first thing. What's going to piss people off the most? That like the two women that don't represent the women's revolution that much, that can go in the main event. Let's do Ronda and Nikki. Didn't Charlotte and Becky have a banger on that?
Yeah.
Card?
Yeah, I think they stole the show. I mean, you couldn't top that table for that.
Should have been the main event probably, but it was funny. It went the way they went. I think Evolution 2 was way better.
Yeah, but yeah, like the whole thing. And one, I agree with her turning heel because she to me she's not a good babyface.
Yeah,
so she needs to be a heel. I mean, and remember, like a couple of years ago, she was retired. She let her contract run out with WWE. She was good. She had businesses. She had a rich she had a wine business. She had other business ventures that she was doing with her sister. She had a family. She had a husband. She had a rich, stepfather, who had a lot of power in WWE. Now she doesn't really have a lot of that anymore. I mean, Johnny Ace is basically just every week trying to get a new plea deal with the Fed, so they leave him alone and just go after Vince. She got a divorce, and she ended up getting screwed because the police caught her throwing the shoe. Like, she called the police to get her husband arrested, but because she was the one throwing stuff at him, they arrested her instead.
Now they arrested him.
I mean,
they did arrest him.
They did?
Yeah, they arrested him.
Yeah, Doug. But she's talented. I liked her doing jobs to Roxanne Perez and like putting the young heels over. And I liked her hanging out with like Rhea Ripley and stuff because it seemed like a weird hangout, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Like I liked her as like the third when you would see Stephanie, Rhea, and then her. That 1 6-woman tag. And I liked her with the other baby faces this run. I didn't mind it when she first came back, and because she hasn't really done anything but put other young girls, and I like that role for her more than her in the championship match as a big time heel. But I will take it, and I do agree that as a character, she's a way better heel than she is babyface, 100%. Let's get that. I mean, we got 40 flops to get to, so
yeah,
let's get right to it.
And we don't know how many of mine Eric have taken.
Yes, I'm gonna go first. Because the show isn't fair and I pick it. No, my number 10 is I lied to you, Doug. I said I had like one Russo. I think I have a couple actually.
Okay.
But this one is a Russo idea, and it's with my boy Dustin Rhodes. And I hate to do it, but I'm gonna go 7. The character of 7.
7 at 10.
Yes, when he came out looking like as he said, Uncle Fester, and he came in the white makeup, and he was like doing an Undertaker shtick, and he had the hat and the jacket, and he floated to the ring. Now, I do think this could have been an interesting character, but they were doing the commercials at the time of Dustin as out of the window of the little kid, and the network found that shit creepy because it was creepy. But and he was like talking to like possessing the kid, and the kid's eyes turned like he was turning into a demon or whatever. And like I could see what they were trying to, and I honestly think that could have been like their little Undertaker-ish type, like in a way, like less. It could have never reached the heights of Undertaker, but 7, like it could have been a cool little character for what they were trying to do, but it never. They did the work shoot shit right, the shoot work shit. Right out of the gate, because Russo, bro, it's got to be realistic. They have to know that it's fake, bro. And fucking, Dustin comes out right away, and he's like, "This is bullshit. I'm going as Dustin Rhodes." And it was all to be like, it was a whole build up to turn into a, and that was the worst stuff about Russo's WCW. Like when Goldberg would come out, it's like the matches aren't real. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, I'm trying to, the whole thing is to suspend your disbelief and be into it. I don't mind like a little nod, like, hey, this shit's a little, but when you're straight out, like, hey, the matches don't matter. Like some guy's writing this backstage. It's like, hey, motherfucker, I'm trying to enjoy this. But, and they were guilty of that with this. But I do think, 7 never really had a shot, but it was a flop right out of the gate. All right. Next up, Eric.
Oh, God.
Yep. NWO 2000.
I don't have that.
That was like the last NWO group with Jarrett, Bret Hart, I think. Was it Bret Hart?
Yeah.
See,
And
That wasn't the Elite, was it, or was it?
Yeah, that's what they called it, was the NWO Elite. They weren't going to allow Ham and Eggers in there, and then 3 weeks later, they put the Harris brothers in.
The Young Bucks owe them some fucking money.
it
Bullet
was
Club really just stole all that.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty much what they did.
That's all
The
they
two
did.
sweet, all that stuff.
But
it was from December to April. And then Vince Russo brought it back in August.
yeah, he did.
A brief one.
It sucked. They were trying to recapture a magic that wasn't there anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And plus, it also didn't help that Bret Hart got hurt, and Scott Hall, lost the will to work.
The main issue is that Bret Hart should have never been in the NWO. He should have, Bret Hart, if anything, Bret Hart does not represent the NWO.
No.
He's the complete opposite.
No, the only reason why they put him in the NWO the first time is because Hogan didn't want to work with him.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
God.
But that's what it should have taken place. All right, Doug. What's your 10?
The No Limit Soldiers.
Okay.
Ooh.
Not a Master P fan, are you?
Oldest money making act.
No, it's not that I'm not a Master P fan. It's just that it had no business. Like if he was gonna stick around, then that would be one thing. But you could tell he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
It was stupid. And then, of course, the best representatives in the No Limit Soldiers, Chase Tatum and Brad Armstrong. When I think rap group, I think them. It was just stupid. And then the West Texas Rednecks, that was no better, but at least I kind of chuckled with that.
You're damn right.
That's a good one.
That feud was kind of fun, so I don't know if I would call them a flop, but I could. Everything they were doing was flop.
Yeah.
But yeah. Because the rap is crap shit you love.
Oh yeah.
You like the feud again. You like who the No Limit Soldiers were fighting.
I do, and Conan and Rey Mysterio were doing good, but it's just like you didn't need a whole group of guys who were pretty much, were turned down as bodyguards for fucking 50 Cent or whatever rapper wasn't dead at that time.
Yeah.
Like fucking,
50 Cent's not dead.
or I said whatever rapper wasn't dead at that time.
Oh.
I was gonna say.
Well, do you think they got alive after that? They were dead at the time.
Yeah. Maybe just dead from the waist down. Like I usually am.
All right, Cleneth, what's your number 10?
David Arquette winning WCW title.
It's a good one.
Oh damn. That's my number 2.
How does it feel, motherfucker?
This is no list. This is just like random thoughts and stuff I just come across. I didn't want to know particular order. but I think letting that man win the WCW title to promote a movie, not just promote a movie, is just way beyond ridiculous. Ridiculous.
100%.
And the thing is, the whole idea was Tony Schiavone's, and I don't even think Tony was being serious. Well, according to Vince Russo, Tony Schiavone came up with the idea. Now, we haven't heard it from Tony himself, but I think it was just one of those things where Tony's just like, fuck, I'm going to pitch this. It sucks, but let's see if they're stupid enough to go for it.
Yeah.
But Tony has gone on record and said that he never really had a problem with Vince Russo.
Yeah, and this was a bold choice, but it wasn't like the world title for them at the time. If you were watching WCW as a WCW fan and you were watching Russo's bucking up to that point, it didn't mean shit already.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like that was the thing that didn't make it shit. Like, hadn't it already changed at least 10 times by that point in the year? Like, it was flopping a lot from different folks. Russo hadn't held it yet, did he? Or did he already have?
Not yet.
So, which I'm sure might be on somebody else's list. But David Arquette, having a celebrity come in. This one has been talked about a lot, and I do agree with it. It was a bad move. I understand the history and the lineage of the title and stuff, but I understand what they were trying to do, but also to do that on an episode of Thunder. Also, it's not like that was a big pay-per-view that they were promoting with the with the movie.
They were trying to get people to watch Thunder because they knew Thunder was a flop.
Yeah, so
I don't know if that's on anybody's list.
I mean, it's a good one. I wish I would have put that, but I actually liked Thunder. So
yeah, I did too.
Right.
That's why I didn't put it on my list.
Especially early Thunder. My number 9. Yeah. Early Thunder is better than early SmackDown, and I'll go on record as saying that.
I kind of agree with that because they were using everybody for early Thunder
for the first few months, but it did go downhill pretty fast. My number 9 is the Ultimate Warrior because I think this was a terrible move bringing him back, and I know this one's been. I'm sorry, Eric. I can tell it. Doug's so fucking vindicated.
I'll tell you too. That was my number 9 too. So there.
That was my number 8.
Well, we combine mine and Cleneth's, unless you just want to switch your 9 and 8 around there. But
okay, yeah, I'll make that my number 9 now.
Okay, so we'll all talk about it at once and just skip Doug.
I don't have it on my list.
The Ultimate Warrior, and this is what you said. Well, that's because you're going for a bunch of old shit.
Yeah,
but and the old shit's good, but it's also fun to talk about the stuff to when people were watching it as well.
There was 10 people watching it around the time that,
but not 10 million. And this is infamously bad. And this is another one that's been talked about. Hogan wanting his win back, and this is about Hogan looking. But ultimately, like, Bischoff failed for the bait, and Bischoff thought it was a good idea while WCW was at its hottest, and while Goldberg was your world champion, and you had such a big thing going on to bring the Ultimate Warrior in to feud with Hogan, so Hogan can get his win. That Halloween Havoc is a great card. Besides that, I love that Havoc.
Yeah,
and that shit sucks.
Well, the thing is, the match was so bad.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even, Hogan didn't even try to make the match look good.
Yeah, it was so bad. And Warrior was just past his fucking, if he had a prime, he was past it.
Yeah.
And he just, like, he was a
He was
little
way
better in Fall Brawl, but he not much.
Yeah.
But Ultimate Warrior as a whole in WCW had no need. And that, like, visual of him in that one Nitro when he had Brutus Beefcake under his crotch, that shit was so creepy. When he had his hand on his shoulder like a dog.
I mean, that's not the first time Brutus has been under somebody's crotch.
I know, but the disciple and everything, like, that shit was just insane. Like, none of it worked. The whole him looking at Hogan in the mirror and Hogan getting scared, it was just all campy and corny, and it was them kind of reverting to old shit. And that's when they failed, because you had so much new shit. You had so much young, great fucking guy. And this is why Jericho and all them fucking bounced, because you had all this good shit. And you're like, no, let's do stupid shit like this. And let's do the Leno stuff. And let's if they would have just stuck to what they had, they would have been fine. And this is one of the bigger flops that I think caught, because 98, like, I know Bischoff saw the writing on the wall, and 98 is a year where they made fatal mistakes that ruined the company. But 98 is still a solid fucking year for them, content-wise.
Yeah.
A lot of the creative's still very good. And the whole Wolfpack versus Black and White, I'm into all that shit. And Goldberg's Rise, love it. Love it all. Love the year in 98.
Well,
this is some of the worst of 98.
Well,
Ultimate Warrior in 1998 is terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't going to work. And then when he came into WCW, he went 10 minutes over his promo time.
Yep.
It was not going to work, because Hogan doesn't take direction, he gives direction. So you're not going to tell him what to do. Warrior has never taken direction. Every time Vince McMahon has given him an order, he then responds by trying to hold Vince up for money.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going to work, because you have two guys, they could not be told anything.
But that's one of the bigger mistakes in 98, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is bringing him in for that. Because they were so hot otherwise, you didn't need that on the card. Like Havoc D, and I know the whole pay-per-view thing, and that might be on somebody else's thing too, because that's a big one. But the whole cutting out and them fucking that up with DDP and Goldberg. But that main event is so solid.
Yeah.
And that is such a good, that you didn't need that on the card, that other attraction.
Well,
you didn't need Hogan and Warrior.
That was more whoever was supposed to make the phone call to all the cable companies.
Yeah, but imagine they cut that match, they never go over, and that's one of the better cards in the history of wrestling. Well, I wouldn't go that far. But
Cut Hogan and Warrior?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have cut Hogan and Warrior. You had 11 matches on that card. You cut Hogan and Warrior because it sucks. You cut Saturn and Lodi because Lodi didn't deserve anything higher than $5, so don't give him a pay-per-view check. And then you got yourself a card that, is manageable, and you're going to end on time.
And it's good, and you end hot.
Yeah.
Goldberg winning was great.
Yeah.
Goldberg and DDP is one of Goldberg's greatest matches.
Yeah, exactly.
I know people say it's Gunther now. No, it's him and DDP. It's probably the best he's ever been. So
Well, I mean, Gunther and DDP are mirror images of each other.
Yeah, same guys.
But
yeah, Warrior was.
I'm kidding.
It was
by
a
the way,
huge flop, and this is one that's frustrating because they should have known it was going to be a flop. This isn't one of those that could have been a good idea. This is one that was like, this is obviously going to suck, and they knew and they didn't give a shit.
Well, Hogan knew and didn't give a shit.
Yeah, and whether it's like, oh, he wanted his win, oh, Eric saw the money, whatever, you knew it wasn't going to be good content. You still gave it to us.
Eric is in Bischoff, not Eric is in him, right?
Well, he might have made a phone call. Who knows? Speaking of Eric, what's your? Oh yeah, that was Eric and Cleneth too.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, me.
What's your number 9, handsome?
All right, my number 9 is a full event. Starrcade '94.
Ooh.
Hulk Hogan versus the Butcher, aka Brutus the Barber Beefcake, in the main event. Supposed to be Vader, because Vader was the number one contender.
He wasn't Zodiac?
Not at that time, not yet.
Oh.
He had made the turn at Halloween Havoc. Bobby Heenan said he had butchered a friendship. So that's when they're like, all right, he's going to be the Butcher now.
Oh.
So Vader was supposed to be the number one contender. But there's conflicting stories. The one conflicting story is Hogan wanted Butcher in the main event instead of Vader. He said he would do the match with Vader, but it had to be Butcher first because Brutus is his best friend. Ed Leslie, Brutus the Barber Beefcake is his best friend. Eric Bischoff claims, as he's, flossing his teeth with Hogan's pubic hair, that it was Vader that was not ready to work with Hogan yet. Because he was afraid of, Hogan not liking his style. Or that's the excuse Bischoff gave, which is complete bullshit because it's just like Vader's not going to want to fucking make money.
Yeah. Fucking
moron. And then you have that match. You also have, Johnny B. Bad and the Honky Tonk Man are scheduled, and they advertise Honky Tonk Man up until the show. Like when Arn Anderson comes out to wrestle Johnny B. Bad, everybody's just like, "Where's the Honky Tonk Man?" Yeah. The Honky Tonk Man was fired 2 hours before the show started because he saw Eric Bischoff sitting on a loading dock or standing on a loading dock talking to somebody. He said, "Hey, Eric, just so you know, I'm not doing the job tonight." Eric said, "Okay, go home. You're done."
Wow.
And Honky's just like, "Oh, no, we got a pay-per-view." He goes, "Johnny B. Bad's not losing the television title tonight." So that either means A, you're going to put him over, or B, you're going to put him over. We can do C, which is you're fired if you prefer not to put him over. And so Honky's like, "I'm not doing the job." So that's when Bischoff's just like, "All right, get the fuck out then."
Weren't a Sting and Avalanche fan, were you?
No, because
I love John Tenta.
I love John Tenta too. There were a couple of bright spots to that card. I did like the Sting Avalanche match a little bit because I do think Sting works well with bigger guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I liked the Nasty Boys versus Harlem Heat. I actually thought that match was really good.
But the card was weak.
And but yeah, most of the card was weak. So and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Harley Race, I had a decent match for two guys, Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Vader. I'm sorry, for the US title. It was a decent match for two big guys, but Harley Race could have just every 2 fucking minutes Harley Race is getting involved. Vader's 450 pounds and a fucking badass. You don't need to fucking get involved, Harley. You made him look like a fucking pussy.
Are you ready for my number 8?
Yeah.
My number 8 is it's not, I had to go, it's a little bit of a cop out, but not really, because this is about the booking of a guy, not a guy as a whole, because I do not think he himself was a flop, and I think everything he was given, he did to the best of his ability, and he worked his ass off. I'm going to go with the booking of Bret Hart, because the use of Bret Hart as some of the poor Eric, but
That's my number 1.
Oh God.
I'll say what I want to say. So go ahead.
Okay. It's one of the
We're costing Eric camera time.
Mind-boggling things. The other Eric Bischoff, one of his not even one of the worst decision he ever made was not. And I should probably have this at number 1, but I think there's worse stuff because Bret Hart himself, the Benoit Owen Hart tribute was great. There was a lot of great matches that he did. And the heel stuff that he got to do, he had fun with, and he was a fun heel just like he was in the WWF. The problem was he was getting booked like shit. He should have never been associated with the NWO. He should have been fighting the NWO. He should have got there, got into a program with Hogan, started talking shit to him, let the Sting thing happen, let Sting win his title, and then fucking go on and have a new challenger, and then do Hogan and Bret Hart. And that can be either the main event or the co-main, and that's a big attraction going into the pay-per-views. It's easy fucking money. You do Hogan and Hart as quick as fucking possible, or you slowly build that up for the year until Starrcade. You can go with whatever you want to do, but Hart should have been doing so much different shit than when he was doing, and he never got booked right. And even when they put him on top, it was in a stupid way, like what Eric was talking about with the NWO 2000 and shit. He just and the whole like winning the title from Goldberg, and Goldberg fucking took him out for it, which he's still pissed about when Goldberg took his career away from him. But that was the Montreal Screwjob stupid Russo booking finish, which was terrible. And he just never got booked right, but he could have been like just as good in an asset, and he could have helped them win that war. Like the vigor that Vince had to like make it, like he was ready and he had fire on his ass. Like the story that Bischoff says is an inaccurate one. And I am an Eazy-E fan. I love Bischoff. But when he says that he didn't give a fuck anymore, which he doesn't say that, but he's like, he didn't have that fire. There was something missing. There was something, he wasn't the same. That isn't true. He was still putting on great matches and he was still doing fun character work. You were just giving him complete bullshit. Bret Hart is completely accurate when he says they did not know how to fucking use me. That is the only thing that you can say about that situation is they did not know how to use him. He was trying his ass off.
Well, and also, I mean, look at the, huh?
I'll say my
Okay.
All right. So, when he took the couple months off, he took off, to grieve what happened to Owen. When he comes back, he came back and he basically cut a promo saying, hey, I want to fight Hulk Hogan. And this is something people have been waiting for a long time. 2 segments later, what is he doing? He's drinking coffee with Hogan. And the next week he's on, he's teaming with Hogan. The reason why he's doing all that is because he basically, he did a shoot and he basically said, this is what I want to come back for. I want to do this. Hogan looked at him and said, you can come back, brother, but you're not working with me.
I'm working Warrior.
No, this was this is when they were getting ready. He was getting ready to drop the title to Sting, and Sting was doing the heel turn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
turn heel.
Huh?
I forgot Sting turned heel.
It should be on somebody's list.
But yeah.
On mine, because I forgot.
All right, Eric, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is Dusty Rhodes turn heel.
That's a good one.
And joining the NWO.
Yeah.
Black and white Hollywood.
Even though he wore red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dusty Rhodes turning heel doesn't make any sense because he's always been a babyface. He's one of those guys that you love and always will love. It's like John Cena.
Yeah, and no one represents WCW more than him. Him and Flair are WCW.
Yep, and nobody represents WWE like John Cena. So there you go.
Yeah. He should have never. And I mean, Cena turning heel makes more sense than Dusty. Dusty joining the NWO made no sense. The young, cool fucking faction wanted I know Hogan's not young and cool, but still, like their whole thing was being hip, and then you have fucking like a monkey. And I love Dusty, but he had no business. He was the guy. He was supposed to be the commentator talking shit to them.
Yeah,
that's what it was out of place.
And the thing is that like they kind of were telling a story. He was jealous of Larry Zbyszko, and then they do like a follow up 6 months later that only lasts like a week.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Cleneth?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you were getting ready to talk. Maybe I just wanted to hear your voice.
Oh. Okay.
All right. What's your number 8, Doug?
Cleneth.
Did you just go?
No,
No,
but
doesn't Cleneth go before me?
No, you went before him, but they all had the same pick, so we skipped you last time.
Oh, okay. All right. My number 8 is Paul Roma joining the Horsemen.
It's a good one.
Uh,
He's the worst horseman.
Shouldn't have happened. It basically what this was Ole Anderson telling Arn Anderson and Ric Flair, I love you guys. We were like family, but you're old and need to get the fuck out of here. This coming from Ole Anderson, who has been 80 years old since he was 15. So it made no sense. And Arn tried because Arn teamed with him.
Well,
Yeah.
it made no sense for them to be babyface.
Yeah.
That was the issue. Paul Roma might.
I mean, I liked the babyface music that they had.
Yeah, but Paul Roma might have been an all right addition if they were heel.
Yeah.
He could have. He had that smugness about him. They could have. But the fact that he was like a young hot babyface with the Horsemen, and the Horsemen were like, oh, babyfaces now. That just didn't work.
No, not at all.
I don't blame him as much as I blame, even though I do say he's the worst Horseman of all time.
Yeah.
Sid's better.
It was Ole Anderson's bad idea because Ole Anderson was trying to, I think, because Rick tells the story about how Ole says to him, he goes, Rick, you should be done. Like, we need to push guys that aren't you. And Rick looked at him and said, Ole, you're one of my best friends. He goes, yeah, but even I know when the business has passed you by. And what do you know? We got Rick for another 18 years.
18 years.
People kept telling him that too, and he kept saying, "Woo, you're wrong."
Woo! I've been drinking since 5 o'clock in the morning.
He's still a legend and one of the greatest ever. I don't care what any of you fuckers say. I love it. Old Rick, he's still some of the old matches. So when you talk about your territories and your old school stuff, the best stuff from that involves Ric Flair.
Yeah.
His matches, finishes, the whole nine. He just perfect resume. And even like he's involved in some of the hottest eras too. That WCW, like NWO beating up Ric Flair is kind of what helped make the NWO.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And he even is humble about that and says he has nothing to do with it. And I think he's wrong, and I think he did have something to do with it. But all right, Cleneth, you're number 8.
My number 8 is going to be the ending of Goldberg's streak.
Oh,
Oh my god,
it's
yeah.
a fun one. Fucking Eric.
No, I don't have them.
Okay.
That's a good
I was
one.
about to say that, man. We need to leave Eric's list alone, man.
Yeah, Eric might have to go. They just do his whole list and then we go.
Yeah, but the ending of Goldberg's streak, because that had to be like one of the worst decisions out there. And not only that, it led to the finger poke of doom.
Yes.
Yep, which is on my
I
So,
mean, yeah. This is one that I've actually argued a lot in the past because not the finger poke of doom. That's the worst shit ever. But the ending, like when you hear that pop when Nash does beat him, that crowd goes fucking bananas. When he hits the fucking jackknife or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the jackknife. When he hits the jackknife and he gets the 1, 2, 3, that crowd goes bananas. And that whole thing has a big fight feel and feels like a huge main event. And I do kind of love that match, besides the Cattle Prod shit, obviously. But and Disco Inferno, what the fuck? But I don't like my main events with Disco Inferno in them. But I do agree. I don't think that Kevin Nash was a bad choice per se, but everything it led to sucked. Everything it led to blew. And I know they blame Goldberg for hurting himself with the window shit, but I don't think he's smashing a window if he doesn't lose that title.
He smashed the window a year later.
Yeah.
Okay. Like Nash is blaming him. He smashed the windshield a year after this happened. It didn't, you guys had already formed that NWO 2000.
Yeah.
That's what Goldberg fucked up. not the the stuff after the finger poke of doom.
Yeah, that had not, and like, yeah, the ending the streak was because the fans were so into it. It was, you could have kept it going, and I will talk about this a bit later, but the whole usage of Goldberg in that spot was done wrong.
Yeah.
The whole, because if you look back at those main events when he's the world champion, he's not in them. Not really. Besides Halloween Havoc, I mean, like his first title match is like Kurt Hennig, and what was the main event, a celebrity deal?
It was Hogan and Rodman versus DDP and Malone.
Yeah, like they never really gave him the respect as the world champion in all the big main events like he deserved. So I do agree with they ended it way too early. Do I think that Nash could have still ended the streak? Yeah, but I do think it happened way too fucking early, and they had a lot of main events that they squandered.
Yeah.
All right, my number 7. This is an event, but a whole event as a whole, like not just like a single year, like the fact that the event exists in itself. And I'm going Sold Out. Because the whole idea, what's up?
That's a good one.
Thank you. The whole Sold Out idea, and Bischoff, this is another thing that kind of killed the company, was Bischoff's obsession that this isn't just a fucking stable. This can be a whole other show. And this can be its whole deal is you have the NWO and you have people that are into the NWO and watch the NWO show, and then you have the WCW show. And we're going to do an all NWO event, and it's going to be all NWO themed, and we're going to have an NWO girl contest and shit, and it's going to be great. No, it sucks. People don't want the NWO as its own show. They thought it was a cool group, but it doesn't work as its own thing. And that's when they added too many members of the group and it started to suck. Like his obsession with that is what ruined it, because he always believed that NWO was so strong it could be his own brand. And he always loved NWO more than WCW, and he bought into the gimmick too much. And that was his big fuck up. And he kind of worked himself into a shoot with that. That is one of Bischoff's biggest mistakes, and Sold Out represents that as a whole, because that's what he was trying to do, was make this as its own thing, and it never could be. It's a cool stable. It's not its own fucking show. That'd be like we don't want to see a whole show dedicated to the Bloodline, even though that's what fucking SmackDown's becoming. But you don't want a whole stable to be its own program, and he always wanted that. And you go back to interviews, he always talked about that. That was always his thing. And he needed to just focus on WCW and building your WCW stars, and then you have that faction in the background. But he couldn't do that. And, Sold Out represents that. There's been like one good match in the card as a whole, and it was that one ladder match with Eddie and X-Pac from the first one.
Right.
Any other match from a Sold Out, nobody remembers, and it sucks.
Well, remember, even if you go back to 1999, they didn't promote the fucking pay-per-view until the Nitro before. Because it was like because for the first couple of years, Sold Out was the last Saturday in June, because it always ran Super Bowl weekend, but WCW didn't want to compete with the Super Bowl, so they ran on Saturdays. Well, 1999, they decided, okay, we're going to run on Sunday. Well, they had to run on the third Saturday, so they ran the day before Martin Luther King Day, which was usually a WWF thing. Mm-hmm. But then they're like, fuck it, we have this night. And you have matches that weren't even nobody knew what the fuck the matches were going to be on the show.
You want them to buy a pay-per-view.
Yeah, and it's just like, all right, your opening contest is Chris Benoit and Mike Enos.
Oh, Jesus. Then
you have Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Norman Smiley. Okay, well, so you're making people pay $30 for an episode of WCW Saturday Night. That's actually what a review said.
Yeah.
They're like, we're paying $30 for matches that we would normally get on WCW Saturday Night.
That's a good point.
So, and again, they had
main event match.
Yeah. So they had Scott Hall. Scott Hall and Goldberg was the main event of that pay-per-view. Yeah. And a taser ladder match. You climb the ladder, you get the taser, and you can use it.
Yeah, calling back to the way Scott Hall fucked him, right?
Yeah. So that was the main event. It was made 6 days beforehand, and it's just like, you've got to be kidding me. So instead of using January 4th to promote your pay-per-view, to give everybody like couple weeks to, all right, cool, we have 2 weeks, we can really build some stuff up. Instead, you have an angle run where you're not going to give people the world title match you promised them. Instead, you're going to have Miss Elizabeth lie and say that Bill Goldberg was stalking her and file a charge for aggravated stalking, which I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a law enforcement officer. I eat donuts like they do, but I'm not a law enforcement officer. But they, so I don't even know if aggravated stalking is really a thing. It very well could be, so I'm not going to discount it, but still. So you run that angle, and then you do that whole finger poke of doom bullshit. You could have had a match where it could have been Goldberg, Nash, and Hogan at the pay-per-view for the title. You could have done a pay-per-view, and you could have done a swerve. Goldberg would have still been in the match, but then you could have had Hogan and Nash team up, beat up Goldberg. Hogan gets to fall there.
Yeah.
But instead, you give them a bullshit finish on Nitro, and then the next week you say, oh yeah, Goldberg and Scott Hall, we're going to do a taser match at the pay-per-view in 6 days. Oh yeah, and by the way, we don't know what the fuck else we're doing. It's just basically going to be whoever shows up to the locker room that night, whoever we fucking see, you're going to work a pay-per-view match, pal.
All right, Eric, who's your number 7?
My number 7 is I hope Doug doesn't have this on his list, but the Chamber of Horrors match.
You already told me you were going to use it, so I didn't put it on.
Okay.
You don't like seeing Abdullah get electrocuted?
Yeah, this match is horrible. We reviewed it a couple years ago.
Yeah. I think that's one of the
This
episodes
match-
you called them sick for.
Thank God.
I think it was you, me. Was it you, me, and Cleneth?
I think so. Because I think it's another one of the times Cleneth yelled at me for making him watch something bad.
Yeah.
Cleneth, do you remember this match?
No.
I've seen it numerous times, yeah.
See, Cleneth couldn't even remember it.
See, you gotta realize, even though I use this my WCW as my wake up coffee when I'm doing my work in the cash office in the morning. That's what my WCW binge watch is like when I'm at work only. I can't get at it anywhere unless I'm at work. I can't even enjoy it when I'm on a bus. Let's put it that way.
Again, this match featured what? Mick Foley, not Mick Foley.
Well, Cactus Jack.
Yeah, he's the
Cactus
one that
Jack.
pulls the lever and then he picks up the lever and pulls it back down. It looks
Yeah,
so
which,
hard.
by the way, the camera caught.
Yeah. It was so stupid.
Yeah, this was really bad. I don't know who thought of it, but
Dusty.
oh,
I woke up one night, baby. I was in a cold sweat.
I love that story.
I was in a cold sweat, and I thought this would be a good idea. And Michael Hayes goes, "Well, did you plan on the lever keep falling down?" Shut up, baby.
Yeah, they were all giving Dusty shit about it in the worst gimmick episode.
Yeah.
It's just one of my favorite.
Oh, I love that episode.
Yeah, I woke up in a cold sweat.
And what's funny is that like the match had been kind of like switched around. The heels, the original heel team was going to be Diamond Stud, one man gang of Abdullah the Butcher and Oz.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Diamond Stud, one man gang, Oz and Barry Windham. But And Barry Windham had been advertised up until that point.
Yeah.
And then, so Barry Windham had been advertised up until that point, but then they did the angle where the enforcers broke his hand. Now, the thing is, Barry Windham was a babyface at the time. So they're just like, but they were still going to have him work on the heel team, which made no fucking sense. And then Cactus Jack wanted to be in the match because he wanted to go after Sting because he was paid by a mystery person to take Sting out of WCW. Same thing with Abdullah.
Yeah.
One Man Gang had been fired because he did not want to put over PN News in the splash match. So they fired him. And then Vader was coming back from Japan. So they said that day, they're like, all right, Vader, you're in. Like, what? And it was so dumb.
All right, Doug, what's your number 7?
I don't know.
We'll skip you again.
Elegante.
Oh, Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah. And the thing is, people say he was a nice man, but first of all, when they brought him from Argentina, they were going to use him. He was going to play basketball for the Atlanta Hawks, which Turner owned at the time. But then they realized, okay, because in Argentina, he was a big basketball player. But the problem is they put him on the court and, for the Hawks, he couldn't move. His knees sucked. So they're like, you got to run. I am running. And he would just fucking walk.
I am running.
And so they're like, all right. So then Jim Herd had the idea, is like, you know what? We're going to push him as a viable contender for Ric Flair's title. And Jim Ross conducted the interview. He's like, Elegante, what do you think? Ric Flair's, world's champion. You're going to wrestle him in the Omni. What do you have to say to Ric Flair? Ric Flair, I'll kill you. JR's just like, eh?
That's funny as fuck.
You got anything else you want to say there, Elegante?
Is that really how the interview went?
Well, that's how he tells it on Legends of Wrestling, on the overachiever underachiever thing.
Oh, okay.
Another great episode, by the way. And he goes, "You got anything else you want to say there, George?" Call him by his real name. And he goes, "Ric Flair, I'll kill you."
Damn.
And he's just like, all right, you heard it there, ladies and gentlemen.
He's gonna kill Ric Flair.
And then he's just like, what the fuck are we doing?
That's so good.
Yeah.
All right. Cleneth, what's your number 7?
Well, my number 7 was the whole Bret Hart uses of Bret Hart, so we can skip that and go to number 6.
All right. My number 6 is somebody I've always had a personal vendetta against for some reason. I've always hated this guy and this character. I know you're more of a fan. The Raging Cajun, Lash LaRue. I always thought this guy sucked, and I always saw him as a poor man's Jericho. And whenever he fucking came out, and he just blew. And his matches weren't that good. Like, yeah, he was an all right cruiserweight, I guess, but I always thought there was better. And I always think that's one of the reasons WCW failed, is because the great mid card left and they replaced it with guys like Lash LaRue. And it just really fucking, and then they started sinking when people were like, okay, the main event sucked, but at least we have a great under. We got Eddie Guerrero, we got Perry Saturn, we got Malenko. Wait, we got fucking Disco and Lash LaRue. So I always hated him. I thought he had a stupid haircut. I thought his gimmick was stupid. Nothing again. I love Cajun pasta, but that's about it. And
I like Cajun chicken.
There you go. But Lash LaRue, the Raging Cajun, can fuck himself. He's my number 6 flop.
It's funny. I remember when he first started becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And there was this kid when I was in 7th grade. There was this kid. I rode the bus with him. And by the way, the kids I rode the bus with in the morning when we lived on Central Avenue in Lancaster, New York, they were all fucking freaks. And for some reason, they thought I was weird. And they're just none of them really liked me riding the bus, and it's just like, well, don't worry, I hate you guys too. And I sat next to him, and he actually looked like Lash LaRue, and I was just like, and I hated this kid.
Yeah.
So the first time I saw Lash LaRue on television, I'm like, he looks like this fucker on the bus. I hate him.
That's a fun story.
Yeah.
All right.
Flashbacks.
Eric, number 6.
Another flop, another wrestler that flopped.
Well, that's
was,
the list.
was good old Ric Flair's son, David Flair.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
The one that sticks out is the famous fake pregnancy with Stacy Keibler. That killed basically his career right there.
Oh,
If he had a career.
And he sucked in the ring, which was his worst part.
I liked him with Crowbar and Daphne, though.
And because he was on my bust list a few weeks ago, because he was a bust. But I will say his little run in that Russo era with Crowbar and Daphne, they were one of the funnest parts of the show.
Yeah.
And that was his little run, but it didn't last that long. And a lot of his other shit sucked. Him in the ring was fucking terrible. He had no coordination. He was nothing like his father. And nothing like Charlotte. He just didn't have it at all. Yeah. And he was just awkward looking.
Now, do you guys know like how the David Flair Stacy Keibler thing was actually supposed to go?
I think about the kid being Rick's.
No, so here's what I read in the magazine once. Vince Russo apparently had the idea that he was going to come out and he was going to say, you know, David, I have to admit, Stacy's child is mine.
Yeah.
So Russo was going to be the father of the baby.
Of course.
And then, but everybody was going to make up. Flair and Russo were going to, you know, become friends again. Stacy and David were going to make up and they were going to get married again. Or they were going to try to get married again. Or he was going to propose. And then Vince was going to come out and be like, oh, yeah, I should probably tell you that, you know, we had some tests done. Stacy's actually your half sister. So they were going to reveal that Stacy Keibler was the product of a Ric Flair one night stand 21 years prior.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And
I'm glad that didn't go to pass.
Well, Russo got fired before it could happen. Brad Siegel just like, fuck this shit.
He's like looking at the script. He's like, no, go home.
Even in 98, that's just wild.
Well, this was 2000.
Oh, 2000.
It's still wild.
Yeah.
All right.
It's ever before Pornhub used it as a category.
Number 6, Dutchie.
All right. I'm going to get a lot of shit for this.
Uh-oh.
No.
Hard to believe, right? The WCW women's division.
They didn't really have a women's division.
My point. You bring in
You wanted one forever.
You bring in Medusa. Okay, you have her trash the WWF women's title with the promise. Don't worry, we're gonna create a women's division. You're gonna be the star. And then she works one match with Sherry Martel, loses, and then she's doing man versus woman matches with Colonel Parker, which, by the way, were entertaining. Would have been more entertaining if Colonel would agree to do the job. But
which they still don't forgive Medusa for trashing the title. Like, remember when they showed her in the crowd at the Netflix Raw, and the clip they showed was her trashing the title?
Yeah.
And she's even looking like, oh, come on. And it's like, dude, she had so many matches and shit for the W. And they're like, no, we're going to
25 years later.
So then, you know, they finally have the tournament in late 96 for the title, but they don't give it to Medusa. They give it to Malaya Hosaka, who's from Japan, because Sonny Ono was bringing in all these women wrestlers from these Japanese women wrestlers from Stardom or whatever. They were going to be the stars of the women's division.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know, but like the women's division lasted 6 months because then they got a retirement match out of it. Medusa lost, and then after that, the title was just gone.
Yeah, it just vanished.
Yeah,
they preferred the Nitro girls to
and again,
Well,
a month later, the Nitro girls debut.
I enjoyed the Nitro girls.
Well, I'm not saying anything bad about the Nitro girls. They were all very attractive women.
Fucking horn dog.
Okay, they were all very attractive women. But Bischoff's just like, okay, if we're gonna have women on the show,
cheerleaders,
then we have to have this dance group, which Kimberly was put in charge of. But that's that's another fucking story.
All right, Cleneth, did Cleneth just go?
No, does. All right, I'm gonna say LT versus 3 Mongo Michaels. Here's some of my biggest annoyance with WCW is bringing in players, football.
You know that was Reggie White, right?
Well, whatever it was, Reggie White. Okay, Reggie.
You're thinking of Bam Bam and LT.
Yeah, Bam. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, Reggie White. Well, that's another part. Ex-players thinking that they get in the ring and been putting on awful like these matches. Like, no.
I kind of agree with Lance.
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, no, the match sucked.
And then the only reason you're building it is to build Michaels up because he's the ex-football player turned pro wrestler. So what you do, you go and you get his rivals in the NFL to make guest star appearances so he can have someone to fight to make him look good when he's getting bored and he had nothing else to do with him. Yeah. He was a horseman, for goodness sake.
Again, you have a bear going against a packer. You have a bear going against a packer. It's it's a rivalry on the football field.
Chris Green was better though, or whatever his name.
Kevin Green?
Kevin Green.
Oh, Kevin Green was
the best wrestler.
Because Kevin Green was a fan. Yeah. Mongo was too, but Mongo's strong suit wasn't wrestling. Mongo's strong suit was on the stick.
Yeah, he was very entertaining.
Because he was an entertaining guy.
Yeah.
Kevin Green because Kevin Green put in the work working with Ric Flair.
Yeah, he could go. The rest of them were.
Reggie White was just one of those. Hey, they want to do a football player versus football player at at the WCW pay-per-view. We need somebody to volunteer. And
that was what, the Great American Bash?
No, that was a Slamboree. The next month was Mongo and Kevin Green at the Bash. But I mean, look at what they're doing. Look at what they did Monday night with Cam Scatterbo. And he's getting a bunch of shit from it from a bunch of NFL analysts, and he's telling them all to go fuck themselves. And it's just like,
you got a point, though.
Well, dude, he's streaming and trying to be an entertainer.
Doesn't he have a torn ACL?
Yeah, he
had a torn ACL. You gonna pull that stunt because why?
This is why. Because the kid's has an injury that's hard to come back from, and he's a running back, and he tore his ACL, and he's not going to be the same. He's got a few minutes of fame where everybody's into him right now. I'm going to use that. I'm going to get a following, and I'm going to get paid off that just in case when I come back, I'm not as good. That's exactly what he's doing. That's why he's got the Twitch career now, and he's streaming, and he's with a bunch of celebrities, and that's why he's showing up at Raw and stuff. He's building an entertainment career just in case football isn't there anymore.
And by the way, there's no way this was not Andrew Schultz's idea. Because Andrew Schultz is trying to get himself over, once the people realize how much he sucks and all he's good for is instigating a bunch of fucking shit.
Yeah.
All right. And his career finally gets killed.
He's a YouTube drama content creator.
All
right. Number 5. Let's keep this rolling. We're halfway there.
He have no hair.
Number 5, I have above average Mike Sanders.
Oh my God. Mediocre at best, Mike Sanders.
The New Blood shit could have worked without this dick. He sucked so bad, and the fact that he was the mouthpiece for all the young guys sucked so bad. and he was terrible, and they thought he was really good, and I don't know why. He was never over. No one ever paid a ticket to see him. He's forgettable. When I said that, I know Eric went, who? And a lot of people did too. The guy blew, and he never should have been given a shot. He was bad in the ring. He was bad on the stick. He's a flop.
And the fact that they made him commissioner, it's just like, this is why, like, people want to kill their boss.
Yeah.
Like,
and this is why no one's watching this bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, 5.
Number 5 is Jeff Jarrett laying down for Hulk Hogan in 2000.
Oh, Bash at the Beach.
Oh, hell.
Yep. He just laid down 1, 2, 3 and walked out.
And then Russo came in and said, to the goddamn grave, bro. You will never see that piece of shit again. And then got the company sued, and another reason they went under.
Oh, I mean, also, too, I mean, Russo had it set in his head that Booker T was going to win the title that night. Yeah. Hogan was just like, if I'm wrestling, I'm going over. It was a whole thing. I mean, that could technically be a whole episode in itself if we ever watch Great America or Bash at the Beach 2000. Yeah. And I know we're trying to move a little faster here, so I'm not going to tell the whole story. Yeah. Mainly because you'll be grabbing at my nipples, telling me to stop in about 5 minutes anyway.
You have great nipples.
Thank you.
I'm done.
All right, Doug. What's your number 5?
The York Foundation.
I like the York Foundation. That was one of Terry Reynolds' best roles.
The thing is, they needed better members.
They did.
Because, like, the York Foundation started, it was Alexander York and Mike Rotunda. They feuded with Terry Taylor. Michael Wall Street then decided, well, this shit is really going nowhere, so I'm going to go back to the WWF. Because they may hate my in-laws, because he's the Wyndhams are his in-laws. He goes, they may hate my in-laws, but I'm going to kiss their ass and try to get back. So then then they have Terry Taylor join the York Foundation.
Terrence.
As Terrence Taylor. They give him Mr. Hughes as a bodyguard. Then Richard Morton, who he was feuding with, or Ricky Morton, they say, okay, we're going to turn him into Richard. One of the guys he turned on was Tommy Rich.
Yeah.
So then they had Tommy Rich join the York Foundation, and he became Thomas. If they would have had better members besides Ricky Morton and Tommy Rich, if they would have gotten Bobby Eaton and Z-Man to join it, I think it would have been a better group. That's why I think it's a flop. Right. I enjoyed what Terrence Taylor did, but they completely killed that when they had him lose to another one of my picks at a Clash of Champions, in a minute.
All right, Cleneth.
I know, I was shutting up. You don't have to give me the
that
signal.
Wasn't a shut up. That's I love you.
I love you. Shut up.
All right, Cleneth, you're number 5.
My number 5 has to be the tag match between DDP and Karl Malone and Hogan and what's his face, Dennis Rodman. I mean, these are another two like basketball pro athletes trying to get in the ring, feuding with each other, and using the. I'm just not a big fan of those type of storylines because it didn't mean you want to team up pro athlete with a wrestler who's shooting against each other and make this start. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
I liked it better than Leno, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and again, they were just
before.
Go ahead.
Yeah. This is before Leno.
Yeah. I mean, they were basically just using this as a way to kind of capitalize over the fact that Malone and Rodman were shoving each other at the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Yep. I was about to say that.
Well, I'm sorry I took that from you.
Oh, no, you're good. That's why I let you do it. That's why I let you say it.
All right.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Okay.
All right. Getting rid of the booking committee in 1990. And then just having Ole in charge. I think this was a bad move. I think Ric Flair was actually doing a pretty good job trying to fix the company and trying to fix the creative. And Cornette on there. I mean, I know it started with Gilbert, but Cornette and Dusty and all the good names that they had on there. They were having, and I know people say you can't book wrestling by committee. I kind of disagree on certain things. I think if you have a committee of certain guys of really good minds that know the business, not a group of writers, but a really good booking committee, I do think you could get some cool shit done, especially if they're creative and with storylines and stuff too. This had potential, and they cut it way too soon.
Yeah. Well, because again, like Jim Herd had his guys that he wanted pushed. He wanted Lex Luger and Sting to be the main event.
Which I understand.
Yeah, I do too. Ric Flair didn't feel that way, though. Ric Flair wanted to build other guys. I mean, he was willing to build Sting. But Luger, he's just like, there's no money in Luger.
Exactly.
All right. Number 4, Eric.
Finger poke of doom.
That's a good one.
Yep.
I was looking for something to poke.
This is
Yeah.
still not talked about, but this is, if you go back and watch this, it's like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
What, us? Or,
Laying down for Hogan. So,
It's one of the worst decisions ever.
so Nash and Jarrett laid down for Hogan. So Hogan got
History of wrestling, not even just WCW. One of the worst decisions in the history of wrestling is this. And this is what led to the demise. More, if you're going to blame if you're not going to blame the business side and you're going to blame creative stuff, this was the creative point where they fucking lost everybody. Because they got everybody excited for that. And there was people that was into that was like, fuck Mankind and Rock. I'm into this. And then they saw that and they're like, flip the channel, fuck this. And they were so sick of that shit. And it sucked.
This Bischoff, what's this Bischoff's decision? Or Russo?
no, Kevin Nash.
Oh. Does he even defend it?
He wasn't booking.
No, this was a Kevin Nash idea, and they said, okay, we'll run with it. We might be able to do something.
Does he still defend it to this day?
To everybody, he finally told the truth to Mick Foley. Because he told Mick Foley he's during an episode that Most Wanted Treasures.
Yeah.
Because Mick was trying to verify the singlet that Nash wore, or the outfit that Nash wore during the finger poke. And he's like, yep. He goes, I wore this the night I single-handedly killed WCW. And like they had a nice conversation about it. And then Nash realized he was being too nice. So he said to Mick, he said, you need to leave now. I'll call you an Uber.
That's funny as fuck. I love Nash. But yeah,
I've grown to like Nash because he's his podcast is nice.
He's entertaining.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. All right. Number 4, Doug.
The dynamic dudes. I mean, dynamic dudes.
Johnny Ace?
Johnny Ace and Shane Douglas.
Really? Wow. I didn't know they were in WCW.
It was terrible.
They sucked.
Yeah.
They sucked. They put Cornette with him to try to get him over. The thing is, nobody wanted to cheer Cornette. They all wanted to boo him because they felt like he was best as a heel.
Which he is. Yes.
Agreed. And like these guys just, it didn't work.
Johnny Ace sucked. It was fun when WWE made fun of him with this later, though.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, the crowd, according to Cornette, the crowd's always chanting, Johnny sucks Shane's dick. Johnny sucks Shane's dick. And then, like, one night they were in the locker room. One night they're in the locker room and Laurinaitis or Johnny Ace walks away and Cornette goes, Johnny, where are you going? He goes, I guess I'm going to go suck Shane's dick. And Cornette's just like, what? Okay. We'll see you in about 20 minutes.
Enjoy that cock. All right. Number 4, Cleneth.
Oh man. My number 4 would have to be Warrior versus. I'll say basically the 98. What's it? The 98 War Games where they made it the 3 teams.
Right.
3 teams.
WCW versus
WCW, the
Tag versus Black
WCW
and White.
White, yeah, that I think killed the War Games saga for me because War Games before then was basically 2 rivals, 2 teams, 2 factions wanting to settle it in the ring who was better. Now you're throwing this, and then not only that, the match should end at any time, and the winner got a shot at the WCW Championship.
Yeah, it was stupid.
It was like the dumbest thing, and which and would add more fuel to the fire. And you're putting Hogan and then Warrior, and this whole it didn't match. None of it made sense.
No. And it should have, the whole time, should have just been Wolfpack versus Black and White.
Yeah.
That was the feud. WCW should have been out of it. And it shouldn't have been for a title shot. It should have been the blood feud with Nash and Hogan and Black and White versus Wolfpack. That's the way to go.
Yeah. And the fact that Stevie Ray ended up in that match just a week after joining the group.
All right. Number 3s. My number 3. And I talked about this during Cleneth Goldberg thing, but I'm going with not featuring Goldberg in the main event enough during his world title run. The whole world title run was booked sloppy and bad. And like, good for them for giving him the belt, but just everything that was done. Like they say about, oh, you should have saved it for a pay-per-view event. No, you still do it the same way. Have him win the title on Nitro the way you do it in the Thunderdome, right?
Yeah.
And you do it just like that. But then you do the rematch with him and Hogan in a big pay-per-view. And then you, like, no offense to Kurt Hennig, but you could blow that off on Nitro. And then you go into like a Sting or a Nash and Bret Hart, and you take down these fucking huge ass fucking rivals, and you build the streak up more with that and these big pay-per-view main events. That's how you do the world title. And then you slowly build up a young guy and kind of give him an undefeated streak and make him a killer. And then that's how you finally end the streak with that guy and have somebody grow out of that, you know?
Yeah.
That's the way you do it. And they just didn't know how to do it, and they did it wrong. And Hogan was so, I got to do the celebrity shit in the main event. No, that's co-main shit. You do the celebrity shit in the undercard and the co-main, and you save the main event for the world championship. You don't have Goldberg go before the celebrities. Or you don't like that fucking one Road Wild where he had to be a part of that battle royal. He's the world champion.
Yeah.
Why the fuck does he have to be in a battle royal? Even though I like that battle royal, but still.
It was a good battle royal.
But he shouldn't have been in it.
No.
He should have been defending the world title in the main event because that's what the world champion does. And they fucked up by not doing that.
Right.
All right, number 3, Eric.
I decided to switch up my top 3, so my number 2 is my number 3 now. My number 3 is my number 1. So David Arquette winning the title.
Okay. Talked about that earlier on.
Yep. That's why I'm saving number 3 for number 1.
Okay.
All right, Doug.
Heavy Metal Van Hammer.
You loved him as a kid.
As a kid, I loved it, and it's funny. And I've told the story a couple of different times. Kenny Lehman, good friend of the show. Him and I had a conversation one time. We were talking about old wrestlers, and we were talking about the crap in WCW. And I said, "Remember when we were 5 years old and we loved Heavy Metal Van Hammer?" And he goes, "Doug, you realize we were stupid back then, right?" And I'm like, "Dude, we were 5." He goes, "Yeah, our brains did not fully function until
I enjoyed this last week.
now." So, yeah. Here's a guy. By the way, he had one match that Dusty saw him in. It was his first ever match. Dusty said, "Baby, I'm gonna make you a star." And then he traveled with Mark Marrow, and they traveled the roads together. doing, and this is Mark Merrill's words too.
I thought you said Mark Maron for a second.
I almost did.
Were they talking shit about Rogan the whole time?
Yeah. They travel the roads, did drugs. This is Merrill's words. You know, did a bunch of drugs and stuff. And then they brought him in his heavy metal Van Hammer, and they said, "Baby," he said, "Baby, you're gonna be geared towards the kids. The kids are gonna love you." And he's like, "All right, these are my hammerheads." Basically, Dusty was trying to look at that forehead. Dusty was trying to turn him into the Ultimate Warrior, move set and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Van Hammer sucked.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
All right. Cleneth, you're number 3.
Aye.
Oh, man. So my number three.
Did you
My
just let out
number
a
three.
fart?
No. Perfect. My number 3 has to be between. Okay.
You farted in my leg, dude.
Oh my god. Okay. My number 3 has to be between storyline between how they felt like Deborah McMichaels, Rick Flair, and Woman was ruining the Four Horsemen, and how they couldn't win the match because they're fighting over the women in the Four Horsemen.
Oh
That-
my god.
That did suck.
That was awful.
Jeff Jarrett was terrible back then.
Well, and the funny thing is, this whole thing with Deborah always grabbed. If I were Mean Gene, like if this were Mean Gene in the way he was in 2000, if he would have acted that way in 97, Mean Gene would have looked at Mongo and said, "Shut your bitch the fuck up."
Blow it out your asshole, hair.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Fucking Deborah
And Jarrett
McMichael.
went on to,
Huh?
and then Jarrett went on to create TNA.
Yeah. It was bad mid-card stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Jarrett's been a bit part of a lot of bad shit, even though I do like Jeff Jarrett.
I do too.
All
Number
right.
2.
My number 2.
Number 2.
Maybe the single-handedly thing that kind of like ruined the territories. You're gonna like, because I'm going old school for my last 2. I'm going with Jim Crockett buying back the time slot from Vince after Black Saturday, because he bought the Vince. Everybody knows the classic time old story of Vince buying the what is it, GWF?
Georgia
Oh,
Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, so
GCW.
and he bought them, and he got their TBS time slot, and then you got basically his version of wrestling on TBS, and people fucking hated it, and the ratings fucking dropped, and Crockett was pressured, and he bought the time slot back from Vince for $1 million, and Vince used that to make WrestleMania, to fund WrestleMania, and the rest is literally fucking history.
And by the way, Bill Watts had the Sunday time slot on TBS for his show.
But that was wrestling enough.
Yeah.
That was still good old wrestling.
Well,
that wasn't fucking Jimmy Snuka and that type of shit.
yeah. Well, and the thing is that like when Crockett bought the Saturday time slot, TBS is just like, okay, we can only have one company on TBS, and they chose Crockett instead of Watts, and even though Watts was delivering high ratings. So, I mean, they fucked Bill Watts over, just because.
But it was just a bad decision.
Yeah.
It ended up screwing them bad.
Oh, yeah.
They could have used that $1 million.
Exactly.
All right. Number 2, Eric.
Bret Hart's debut. I'm just gonna say Bret Hart because I originally had like both his whole career in WCW, but I'll just say his debut. The way he debuted. Well, it wasn't at Starrcade, was it?
No, it was the Nitro a couple weeks before.
Yeah, so they didn't even. The booking of his debut sucked.
And they waited too long, too, after the screw.
Yeah.
He should have
Should have
in
been
that
right
match.
after he, like, he should have been like the Monday Nitro after he got screwed from WWF.
Well,
Well,
according to Brett, he couldn't do it because he broke his knuckle after he punched Vince in the
You
face.
still got to show up to do something.
Yeah.
Just show up on the TV and be like, fuck that other place, WCW for life, and fuck the NWO, and then get everybody excited. That's
Right.
what they should have done.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and it should have been a surprise, like at the end, him coming out and beating up NWO or something.
Yeah.
So I think would have got a big pop. But yeah, that's my number 2. That's my debut.
That's a great one. Doug.
Tank Abbott.
That's a good pick.
I mean, this guy, a badass in UFC, even though I think he actually had a bad record.
Well, that's back when in the UFC you could be shaped like Tank Abbott and make it.
Yeah.
That's back when it was more like outlaw and it wasn't as like professional athletics.
Yeah. But like, he looks like a guy. I mean, he acted like a badass the way he was always going around punching Doug Dillinger, which Doug Dillinger deserved it, by the way. And he, but he looked like a guy that you would catch in a beer tent at the Erie County Fair. Like, for those of you that don't know what it is, Erie County is a, place in Western New York, or it's a county in Western New York, and they have a fair every year.
So there you go. Check it out.
But and they have a beer tent. But Tank Abbott just fucking sucked.
Yeah, he was bad.
Yeah.
And the match with Goldberg, oh my god.
Oh, it fucking blew. What about the title match he had with Sid on a Nitro?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Uh-huh.
Terrible, terrible
That's
shit.
a word for it.
All right,
Yeah.
Cleneth, number 2. Number dos.
Number 2 is WCW creating the hardcore title.
That's disrespectful to Norman Smiley.
I'm sorry. That hardcore title was just something they added when they noticed WWF made their hardcore division. And then all of a sudden they decided to do it. No.
It failed in comparison. Even though some of the Brian Knobbs matches were good.
Yeah, especially his matches with Norman.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's
Norman
the point that matters is this.
got a hardcore. That big wiggle. Hold on, let me get up and I'll do one.
Do it.
This was created in '98, right?
I think it was
Quit wiggling.
Why that be a short?
I'm gonna lose my hearing. I hate
What?
I fucking hated Norman Smiley, and I liked Brian Knobbs, and some of the Bam Bam did some okay shit.
Yeah,
but the hardcore, they were just trying to be like WWF, and it didn't work. I agree with Cleneth. This sucked.
I think they were trying to be more like ECW.
Well, they were trying to be like both of them, but it just wasn't good. They couldn't do it right.
Word got around that I was doing the big wiggle, so we got another viewer.
Your tummy equals ratings. All right.
Why's that be a short?
Is it time for number 1?
yes, it is.
Yeah.
My number 1 my number 1 biggest WCW flop of all time is somebody that should have actually helped change and revolutionize the company at the time in 1992, and that is Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
Because when he came in fresh off a hot WWE run, he should have been the man. And he should have, and all we got was that shitty coal miner's glove match with Sting, which blew. And he just never got a chance. And I know it's because, and you're probably going to get into the story about it, how he wanted to kind of be the booker, and he wanted to be on top too.
And Bill Watts said no. I mean, that's the short version.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure, because it's almost 8 o'clock, you'd like me to just go with that.
Almost.
Oh, well, it is. And then we do have, but no, we do have breaking news on SmackDown anyway. I got a half hour ago.
Happened.
Sheamus is not going to be able to wrestle tonight. He's not medically cleared to do an injury he suffered, so He's out of the
He's
tournament.
out of the tournament, right?
No. Well, he took him out. He was supposed to be. His match was tonight in the qualifying match.
No, it's Sheamus already qualified against Nakamura.
Well, the match is now canceled.
How can the match be canceled when he already beat Nakamura?
He means the next match.
I'm just saying, and that's his next match. He's out of the tournament. It just popped up on my Instagram feed.
All right, good. What's your number one, Eric?
My number one?
Yeah.
What's your number one? You're first.
I already said it. Jake Roberts.
Oh, yeah. My number one.
Oh
got
God!
My number one is New Blood versus Millions Club in 2000.
The Minions had a club.
This episode's going to hell.
Storyline.
Oh, God.
This is like the last big storyline in WCW. They tried to do something, and it just didn't work.
I do think TNA did it a little better with the Main Event Mafia.
Yeah.
But this didn't work at all. Making the new guys the heels isn't the good thing to do.
No.
Because you're making people hate them. And people don't want to cheer or people don't want to boo the Hall of Famers either.
Right.
So it's kind of a tricky thing to get into. But it was just never going to work.
Yeah, it was their last throw. And it missed.
Doug, number one.
Great American Bash 1991.
You hated it.
You're supposed to get Luger and Flair for the world title. The problem is Ric Flair's just like, fuck you, I'm not dropping the belt to Luger. I'll drop it to Barry Windham. He can drop it to Luger. They said no. So he just said, fuck it, I'm gone. Also on this show, you have PN News, who's 450 pounds, climbing a scaffold. At 450 pounds, his asshole's as big as a fucking scaffold. And you're going to have him climb one? Then you have your main event isn't even Luger and Wyndham in the cage. It's Paulie Dangerously and Arn Anderson versus Rick Steiner and Missy Hyatt in the cage. Supposed to be Anderson and Wyndham and Dangerously versus the Steiner brothers and Missy Hyatt. Scott Steiner gets hurt. The Maryland State Athletic Commission, they were in Baltimore, even said they're like, you're not putting a woman in a cage match against men. So they kiboshed it 3 weeks prior. And Jim Hurd's just like, oh, we'll keep it advertised. And then they had the fucking hardliners, Dick Murdoch and Dick Slater, kidnap Missy Hyatt before the match started. It's just like, you guys are a bunch of fucking morons.
Creed.
So,
all right. Cleneth? Or no, Doug, you're number one? Or that was your number one?
That was his number one.
right?
Cleneth, you're number one? Yeah, I realize now you bald fuck. Go ahead, Cleneth.
All right. So my number one has to be what killed WCW altogether. It's the night they announced that Mick Foley was going to win the World WWE Championship on Raw.
That was on the Finger Poke of Doom, wasn't it?
Yeah. But that was the same episode as Finger Poke of Doom. But
Yeah.
I agree with what he's saying. That like they should not have done that.
No.
And they done it a lot, especially when in the beginning. But when they did that just totally killed WCW's momentum. Anything they had over WWE, they killed it.
Yeah,
They went dead.
Want to watch it because people like Mick Foley. That was their mistake.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you take one of the most beloved wrestlers and you're going to announce their crowning achievement. It's like, of course, people are going to fucking tune in.
Yep.
Yeah,
and that was Bischoff that did that and laughed.
Well, Bischoff asked Tony Schiavone to do it that night.
Tony Schiavone's the one that said it. And Schiavone still regrets it. But all right, that was our list. Top 10 WCW flops. All right.
We didn't take each other's one besides me.
I'm sorry, Eric. All right. I know. Next week, Survivor Series 1989. That's going to
All
be
right.
the show. So we're going old school for some.
I might be on.
All right. Well, hopefully you are. And that's what we're doing next week. Doug, what's on the menu for the cartoon?
Tomorrow night on Animated Hour of Power, we start stage 2 of the Animated Anarchy series with these matches. And Eric and I are going to be sitting in the same room together.
Oh God.
No, that's an announcement.
But you'll see Eric, myself, Dave, and Sean screwing up a bunch of battles. We were going to have Simpsons versus Pokemon, Rugrats versus Ed, and Eddie, Heathcliff versus Garfield and Friends, and your main event is the Flintstones versus Super Mario Brothers Super Show. So if you have a favorite of these bunch, do not tell us what they are, because more than likely the 4 of us will fuck it up.
You got that right.
See, he knows. He's a viewer. He knows. He's familiar with our work.
All right. This was a blast. I had a lot of fun, guys.
Yep.
We'll see everybody next time. Eric, please do the shorts.
Yes, sir.
And schedule tomorrow night, please.
And Cleneth, thank you as always. And we'll see everybody next time.
All right. Next time. Later.
Later, boys.
Later.